Hi everyone. I want to talk to you about my experience with social media, the things that I have learned from using social media, and how I'm trying to change myself for the better. When I was leaving high school in June, in like May 2009, I remember there was this thing called Facebook, and I remember kept asking myself, "What is Facebook?" Because everybody was talking about Facebook, where they would say, "We want to connect with people, we want to share your creativity or what you do." And at the at the first of all, I was really interested in like, wow, Facebook seems like it's cool. And then I remember when I started working and creating a Facebook profile, I kept asking myself, how should I talk about myself on social media? What should I say? What should I do? What are my interests? What are my hobbies? And it's really hard to create like a Facebook profile at that time because there was a lot of things I was trying to think of without boring people. And then what I tried to do when I created a Facebook profile was basically said, "Hi, my name is Matt Winnick. My interests are in learning history, um, learning about the world or topics when I face struggles, and like I like to travel. I like to be creative at things, just like that, like short little things." And then when I actually created a Facebook account, I remember getting so many friend requests from people who I knew from my past, currently, and including nowadays, where I was getting like so many friend requests, and I was like, wow, friend requests. I was like, boom, 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 and I just at my Facebook profile, I got like maybe like 200 friends, but then it started to get very complicated because people who I was friends with on Facebook would get like more than 200. They get like maybe over 1,000 friends or that. And originally I was kind of confused about how social media started to change. And the thing that I dealt with, the struggle with using Facebook, was getting bullied through hateful messages. Like people would say hateful messages about me with a disability, or how they make fun of me, how I looked, like whether if I posted a picture of myself enjoying something, or if I got a new clothing or that. And also they would spread bad rumors about me, which wasn't true. And it really did change a lot. It's not only in the past but also currently that I've been struggling. And then also another thing that I also dealt with on Facebook was where people would compare to me like, oh, I got like more friends than you do because I'm better than you, or maybe like or that. And it was really really overwhelmingly stressful for me. And what happened was back like a few or 5 years ago, I was a victim of being cyberbullied, where people posted a fake picture of me with something that was really, really inappropriate, and it was being spread all over Facebook. And I was really, really scared at that time. Like, oh my gosh, people can manipulate somebody's picture to something that isn't true. And I remember I was getting teased a lot. I lost friends, and then all of a sudden, I decided that it was time to deactivate Facebook for a long time. What what the problem was when I deactivated Facebook was I started to notice a lot of people were more heavily relied on Facebook, like messaging and ways to communicate. Many people said, "Hey, we don't want to communicate with phone, text, and email." When I try to tell people, "Hey, social media isn't the right fit," and so after a few months when I deactivated Facebook, I finally had a cave in and said, okay, I'm going to create a new account on Facebook. So, what I had to do a lot of deep down thinking is how do I move forward if I have to create a new Facebook profile? So, the changes that I had to change was to mix, to be like, for example, like instead of posting pictures of myself, maybe post a picture of objects that I've done. Like, for example, I might post a picture of me getting a letter from somebody who I wrote to, or like me making like a dish or something, or me just saying I saw this beautiful scene. And so I would try to mix it up where I would have a balance between pictures of myself but pictures without me as a way to try to protect myself. And then when it comes to friends, it's very tricky about accepting friend requests. Always try to take my time accepting friend requests because I think deep down to myself saying, is this really a good idea for me to accept this person as as a friend request on Facebook or not? Or like, do I really know them 100%, even if I just meet them or that, or so I always try to take my time where I try to do friend requests, accept it, but at a longer pace to give myself extra time to really tell myself, okay, you don't really need like 200 friends or even 1,000 friends just to, to get all that stuff in my profile. And then another strategy that I had to work on with Facebook is just trying to be a creative person where I stay away from controversial topics because a lot of people nowadays on social media, including Facebook, rely on people posting controversial stuff, hateful things, and it gets more popular where somebody who doesn't want to do that, it doesn't get recognized and so or being appreciative. So when it comes to me being on Facebook, I try to be creative as possible. Like, for example, trying to show myself as a human being, saying, like, hey, look, I had a difficult time, but here's the things that I've learned. Though I tried to volunteer, I've learned how to, about subject, I had traveled, I have wanted to do things in a good way, or I've learned how to make stuff, make cooking or other activities, or I saw a TV show that I like. So I always try to balance between how to balance my emotions better because sometimes people like to get people riled up on social media where they try to make people feel mad or be provoked, where they get all upset. For me, I easily get upset all the time on Facebook when people get mean at me, and I try not to get involved in that. After Facebook was there, there was Instagram, and everybody was talking about Instagram, which I was like, huh, what is Instagram like? And then I kind of did research, saw YouTube videos, people promoting about Instagram, and I was like, wow, Instagram, you can take pictures, you can share with people, you can do hashtags. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And I remember people who I knew said, hey, we got Instagram, you should join Instagram. And at first, I was very hesitant about Instagram because, it's another social media platform. I've dealt where I had bad experiences with social media. So when I first created Instagram, it was tricky for me to use. I had to look up YouTube videos. I had to do research about how do I use Instagram. And first of all, Instagram was really cool for me because I said, oh, I can post pictures that I like. Maybe I post a picture of me traveling, picture of me enjoying myself, a selfie or that. But as I further progressed into Instagram, it became much stressful. Was I kept continue getting bullied through hateful messages. The same thing from Facebook, like how I looked, um, how they didn't like me with a disability, or how since they get many more likes than I do, then better than me. And I kept getting bullied on Instagram too much, like through hateful messages, or sometimes even when I post something through comments. And it became mentally stressful for me. And I started to realize, like, what is going on? And is it because of me? Am I the problem? Or is it because like, why do people like using social media as a way for bigotry and hate, or just to make people feel bad? And so what I had tried to do a lot of times is to take a break from social media, take a break from Facebook and Instagram for a while. But there was a lot of problems with taking a long break from social media. Was, again, many people heavily relied on social media as a way to communicate, including on Instagram with like messaging and that. And And so many people kept saying, we don't really want to have a cell phone or email or text. When I basically just try to say is, I'm not trying to be hard on you, everybody, but it's just that I don't feel comfortable on social media, or it makes me uncomfortable, or that social media isn't the right fit. So when it came to me brainstorming about how to use Instagram, I kind of told myself, like, hey, the best thing that I can do on Instagram is take a break from it, um, once in a while, in a few months, or simply just try to do the same thing as Facebook, is try to have a balance between posting pictures of not only myself but other objects that I've done, maybe other letters, or maybe what I try to do is post on Instagram like a short essay that I wrote about myself, because I really wanted to try to tell people, hey, using anti disability stigma or using hate and bigotry really hurts me as a person with a disability, but also hurts many people in the long run, including people who are struggling with life, or people who are simply just trying to understand the world. And yes, to be fair, I doubt where many people weren't really appreciative of me for simply just trying to be a human being who really wanted to do good things, stay away from controversy, wanted to share with people, like, hey, I'm a person who really cares about people. I want to see good in people. My interest is I want to learn about the world. I want to understand what's going on, how to be a better person in my heart, and also want to recognize people who want to do good. And those are the basic fundamental things that I really want to do. And then, but it still gets rejected by a lot of people. And another thing that I really noticed with social media that became very challenging was when people didn't really want to be appreciative of me as trying to be a good friend, because I have dealt where many times where on social media platforms many people will say, hey, like my post, or give me a comment on my post, and all of a sudden when I just like enter a comment or like somebody like their post, then I don't get a like back, I don't get a comment on my post, or even they don't even say thank you for taking the time to like my post, or even say a good comment back to me. And I kind of been feeling like hurt inside, because I'm a human being who really wants to be supportive of people when they share stories about their struggles, or they talk about their achievements or what they have tried to do. And I always try to give them like good thoughts, positive vibes, and like try to say, hey, you inspire me. I'm sorry you had a difficult time, but I'm thinking of good thoughts for you, and I want you to know that I'm always thinking good thoughts. And so, just like that. And it's not easy. There are days that I get basically rejected by people, and I get laughed by people too. And I've dealt where people use social media as a way to, where they spread bad rumors about me, not only on social media, but outside of the social media world, was like in public places, social groups, where I work, where I volunteer, where I do, where people get um, extremely mean to me. And it's really, really heartbreaking when people use social media as a way for hate and bigotry. And I wish that social media could be a place where we can have diversity, where we can have inclusion, where we can include people who come from different backgrounds, people with disabilities, people with different skills, different creative content, and also more better appreciation for people who are trying to do good things, work hard in life when they face struggles, or want to learn how to improve themselves, and simply just want to be a human being when the world is tough. Unfortunately, I don't really have many good advices for people when it comes to wanting to do social media or start new social media, or when they deal with struggles on social media. But here is the best thing that I can think of when it comes to social media. Is one is remind yourself that it's okay not to be okay when you deal with hard times. And another thing too is when you're dealing with struggles in life, whether it's like you lose sense of security or you lost friends or you're just having a difficult time understanding life, that doesn't mean you're a negative person. You're a person who is trying to understand how the world is working. And also, when it comes to social media, you should always try to be compassionate and kind to people who are just trying to do good things, trying to share good creativity, who want to stay away from extreme or controversial stuff. And always try to always think of good thoughts and positive vibes for people who are struggling or when they make good achievements. Another thing too is when it comes to wanting to take a break from social media, it's okay to give yourself a time to take a break from social media. Like for example, maybe take a week, maybe take a few weeks off from social media, or maybe a month, or maybe a few years, to figure out what type of person you want to learn. Like for example, maybe work on developing hobbies, work on a self reflection of yourself, where you said, what did I learn about myself? What was my struggles? What do I want to see in the near future? Or work on other creative projects. So, and also another thing too that I wish a lot of people who use social media is that they should always try to be appreciative of people who they follow or who they are supposedly friends with or who they know. Is please, please take the time to be appreciative of people who are just simply just trying to do good, or when they struggle in life, or when they just need a friend, and just try to be really kind. I know that many people are busy with their lives. Maybe they use social media as a way where they want to talk about themselves, where they don't want to appreciate people, but it's really important that we need to use social media for good, because I've dealt where I get bullied all the time for having a disability, which is autism, including a learning disability. And also, I deal where people ghost me, or people don't want um, um, to respond to my message if I'm just simply just saying, hey, I need a friend to talk to, or if you're just simply just asking how they're doing, or you just want to be kind to other people. And so I know this speech wasn't really was difficult for me to talk about social media because there's so much to say about social media, but also at the same time too, I really do believe that we need social media to be a better place for everybody, where we can try to be appreciative of people who are different, or who are creative, or who are simply just want to do good things, or to learn how the world works. Another thing too is that when it comes to social media, is that I wish that social media wouldn't be hard on people when they want to take a break from social media, or they don't want to post too much, because there are times where social media platforms try to deactivate your own account, or they have glitches where it makes it hard for people to recover their account. Also, I want to tell people that, or people who use social media, is you should always try to be creative on how you can understand people. Like if people don't feel comfortable about using social media as a way for communication or messaging, they should be open to like using WhatsApp or using a phone, text, and email as a way for communication. And so I want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to me, where I talked about my thoughts, my struggles with social media, the things that I tried my best to learn, and some of the things that I basically try to give good advice, even though it might not help everyone, or maybe I might not be a perfect advice person like one of these guru people or social media influencers, or like Dr. Phil, for example. But I really want people to take the time to use social media for good, because we cannot live in a world in the past, through currently, and even in the new year, or even in the future beyond, where we cannot use bigotry and hate. Because we need to make a world where we can all learn to accept people who are different, with a disability, who have different skills or different creativity, or who want to promote good awareness about common sense ideas like civil rights, human rights, disability rights, criminal justice reform, environmental protection, or simply just trying to show people other creative things like entertainment, use entertainment for good, or use the arts for a good thing, or use inspirational stories to tell people how they learn from their struggles to be better. We need to do this as a way where we can all move forward. And so, thanks for taking the time to listen to me.